A customer rolled in with a beautiful car and a simple complaint: poor mileage and a glowing check engine light. When we checked the oil, everything looked normal. Until we saw what type it was. That single choice had quietly melted his catalytic converter from the inside. By the end of today's video, you'll know exactly how to spot and avoid this same mistake before it destroys your engine too. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Why would something designed to protect a high-performance engine end up destroying a car built for everyday driving? It comes down to chemistry and purpose. Racing oil was never created for grocery runs or highway commutes. It was built for engines that spend their lives bouncing off redline, enduring brutal heat, and running hard for minutes, not hours. These oils use aggressive additive packages meant to shield metal surfaces when RPMs are maxed and tolerances are tight. The problem starts when that same formula enters a world it was never meant to handle. The calm, sustained rhythm of street driving. Street engines operate under completely different conditions. Instead of intense heat followed by quick shutdowns, they idle, cruise, and spend hours at moderate temperatures. They also rely on catalytic converters to clean up emissions, components that racing oils don't have to protect. In fact, the metals that make racing oil so effective on track are exactly what poison those systems off track. The high concentration of zinc and phosphorus, known as ZDDP, coats crucial exhaust parts when it burns off. Over time, that coating clogs the fine surfaces inside the catalytic converter, robbing it of efficiency until it can't clean exhaust at all. Even one fill of the wrong oil can start that chemical damage. A few years back, a Mustang owner learned this lesson the hard way. He'd heard that racing oil gave extra protection and began using it at every oil change. Within 40,000 miles, both catalytic converters failed. His oxygen sensors stopped reading correctly, and diagnostic reports showed high levels of unburned additives in the exhaust stream. Tearing down the engine revealed dark varnish deposits under the valve covers, a direct result of oil built for short-term stability, not long-term cleanliness. He wasn't abusing the car. He was just trusting the label on the bottle. What most people don't realize is that racing oil isn't focused on staying clean inside an engine. Professional race teams drain it after every event, so they don't need detergent packages or dispersants to fight sludge and varnish. In a street engine that runs thousands of miles between changes, that missing detergent allows contaminants to settle, forming thick films that block oil passages and trap heat. It's a slow-moving problem that acts invisible until performance drops, or the check engine light wakes up. All of this misunderstanding gets amplified by marketing. Race proven sounds like the ultimate endorsement, yet the fine print rarely explains that success on the track depends on conditions nothing like everyday driving. The oil that saves an engine at 11,000 RPMs can slowly destroy one that rarely sees 4. One wrong selection at your next oil change isn't just a small mistake. It can quietly wreck emissions components worth more than the engine itself. And just when it seems safe to avoid that trap, another blend, diesel-rated oil, creates its own kind of hidden chaos inside gas engines. Many car owners assume diesel-rated oil is simply stronger. After all, diesel trucks run huge loads, haul tons of weight, and log insane mileage without breaking down. So, wouldn't that same oil give a smaller gasoline engine extra protection? That's the trap. Diesel oil may sound tougher, but its formula isn't built for the chemical reality of gasoline combustion. The additives that make it perfect for managing soot and high compression in a turbo diesel can quietly wreak havoc inside a gas engine. The biggest misunderstanding is around detergents. Diesel oils are loaded with them to keep carbon and soot particles suspended so they can be filtered out before forming sludge. In a diesel, that's essential because of the heavy byproducts produced at every stroke. But in a gasoline engine, those same detergent levels actually strip away thin protective films that prevent wear on bearings and cam lobes. What starts as extra cleaning power becomes slow damage that doesn't show until metal surfaces start scuffing. It's like washing metal that was never meant to be scrubbed that often. Along with those detergents come armies of metal additives: zinc, phosphorus, and calcium, that are vital for diesel injectors and turbo bearings. When burned in a gasoline engine, though, they leave behind fine metallic ash. That residue travels through the exhaust stream and lands on your oxygen sensors. A coded O2 sensor can no longer read the air-fuel mixture correctly, sending bad data to the engine computer. The computer then dumps in more fuel, assuming the engine is running lean, and that rich mixture doesn't fully burn. Once that happens, the chain reaction starts. Unburned fuel enters the exhaust, overheats the catalytic converter, and melts its delicate internal honeycomb. Fuel economy drops. The idle becomes rough. The check engine light flickers on. Some drivers also notice a faint sulfur or rotten egg smell creeping from the tailpipe, another early sign of cat damage. Eventually, you're left with sensors that can't be cleaned and a converter that won't recover. One local shop saw it firsthand when a Honda Civic owner switched to a 15W40 diesel oil, thinking it was cheaper and more durable. Within months, both oxygen sensors had failed. The catalytic converter was clogged, and fuel economy had plunged. What started as a $30 attempt to save money turned into a repair bill over $2,000. The irony is brutal. Diesel oil is so good at handling soot that it literally creates an artificial soot problem inside gasoline exhaust systems. Mechanics regularly see this pattern. When asked why diesel oil kills catalytic converters, their answer is simple. Those additives just don't burn clean in gasoline engines. They build up invisibly until your emission system chokes itself out. And this kind of mistake doesn't always come from ignorance. Most of the time, it starts with someone trying to stretch an oil change or save a few bucks thinking tougher means better. What if using the wrong oil doesn't just burn through components, but also your warranty coverage? Modern engines are designed with extreme precision, and automakers spend years defining exactly which oil formula suits each model. They don't just list a viscosity number like 5W-30 and call it a day. Each specification corresponds to certain friction modifiers, detergent levels, and additive balances that keep moving parts protected and emission systems functioning. When a non-specified oil goes in, even one that seems close enough, the system notices. Internal sensors monitor pressure, temperature consistency, and timing adjustments. If those readings fall outside expected parameters, that data gets stored in the car's diagnostic log, quietly waiting for the next service visit. Here's where it turns from chemistry into paperwork. If your catalytic converter, turbocharger, or internal engine components fail while under warranty, the manufacturer can examine those logs to see whether the oil performed within expected limits. If it didn't, the claim can be denied. Dealers even go further when large repairs are on the line. They'll take oil residue samples from around the failed part and send them to a lab for analysis. That test reveals viscosity shifts, zinc levels, phosphorus traces, and detergent presence. When the data doesn't match the oil listed in your owner's manual, the denial letter writes itself. There are already numerous cases where owners used universal or performance oils that lacked proper certification seals, APISN, ILSA CGF6, or the manufacturer's in-house code. Each one promised better protection or longer life, yet damage followed, and warranty coverage disappeared instantly. A failed turbocharger on a nearly new SUV is a good example. Because the oil didn't meet the approved API rating, the automaker refused to pay for the repair. That small choice meant paying several $1,000s out of pocket instead of nothing. Financially, the math hurts. Saving $10 on a quart set of oil can lead to losing thousands in coverage for major repairs. A catalytic converter replacement alone can exceed $2,000, and if sensors or turbo components are involved, the total climbs even higher. The cost gap between proper oil and an out-of-spec alternative is tiny, yet the consequence is enormous. Choosing the wrong product doesn't just risk metal wear, it destroys credibility with the manufacturer. From their perspective, the maintenance record tells them whether the owner upheld their end of the warranty agreement. Once that trust breaks, there's no negotiation left. The fix is simple but strict. Stick with certified specification-matched synthetic oils that carry the same approval numbers as listed in your manual. These are engineered to work seamlessly with the sensors, emissions hardware, and tolerances in your specific engine. Following that standard safeguards not only the machinery, but the promise behind it. And it's that promise, between you, your car, and the company that built it, that keeps every part downstream functioning exactly as intended. The most dangerous oil in your engine isn't necessarily the cheapest, it's the wrong one. Diesel and racing oils can quietly poison catalytic converters and sensors, costing thousands in repairs. Always check the certification symbols and match the exact spec number in your owner's manual, not just the viscosity on the label. Oils that seem stronger or universal often don't meet your car's requirements and can void warranties. Take 30 seconds today to read your oil container's label. That single check can save your engine, protect your warranty, and keep your car running clean and efficient for years to come.